Alright, this is another life of boobie, right? This is the caveat off the first video about survival, right? This is what I'm gonna call learn to adapt, right? Now, a lot of us get stuck in a certain routine. That's what we're accustomed to, that's who we are, that's what we know, that's what we would do, right? We all been there, I've been there, right? But there's a part of time, there's a part of life, and there's a period in life where you have to analyze your surroundings and adapt to your surroundings, right? And by adapting, you have to be willing and able to do things that you're uncomfortable with, that you're unfamiliar with, that you may not enjoy, but you have to adapt to your surroundings, right? If you're working in a place, or if you live in a place and there's nothing but oil fields, but all you know is doing customer service, well, in order to survive, you have to work in the oil fields. Right? If you notice that, there's only certain jobs or whatever, and the good jobs require college education, but you don't like school, right? You have to get the college education. If you know that you're in an environment and people are not receptive by the way you talk because it may come off as aggressive or it may come off as intimidating, well, you have to adapt and adapt the new terminologies of talking, of vocabulary to talk to people for them to be receptive, right? Adapt to your environment. I think that's the key element that I've learned that is a big contribution to where I'm at now. I'm able to be in an environment and I'm able to see what other people are doing, and I'm able to say, okay, I don't like that, but I'm willing to do that because that is what works, right? And always be willing to challenge yourselves. I think a lot of the time, and I had this issue too, is that we're afraid to face things that we're not familiar with, so we avoid them completely and then repeat what we're accustomed to and end up with the same result. Bear with me for a second, right? A lot of the time, the things that bring us ahead require sacrifice, they require uncomfortability, they require choices that may not be favorable up front, but are crucial and detrimental to a better quality of life down the line. Don't think about today, think about tomorrow, but be willing to act today to prepare for tomorrow. That's a big factor. And always have a positive attitude with things. I'm a positive person. There's nothing that anybody can tell me that's gonna change my mindset, right? Everything I've done in life. You're never gonna finish high school, you don't have good grades. I finished high school late, but I got my degree. It wasn't a GED. You're not gonna make it through college because you didn't have good grades in high school. I have 3 degrees and I'm working on my 4th degree, which I'll be getting in May. I don't even like school. I'll keep it a stack with you. I just know that school is important, and the military pays me for going to school, so I might as well just add it to the wall of things that I could collect, right? But when somebody told me I couldn't, you're not gonna make it in the military. A lot of people told me I would die, right? You're gonna go to the military and die. I've been shot, I'm still fucking here, right? Oh, you're gonna fail in this endeavor. And then anything that people told me in a negative light, I took that and I said, that's the right path to go, because the things you're telling me I shouldn't do are the things that motivates me to do them. That's how I know I made the right choice. I ask certain people about choices and I'm like, yo, I'm gonna do this. They go, no, that's terrible. I was like, that's the right choice. All right, I'm gonna do it. And then those same people over there looking stupid when I actually do it. How did you do it? How did you do it? I did exactly what you told me I shouldn't do and what I can't do. So don't allow other people to dictate what you do with your time and with your life. But I want y'all to think about something, right? I want y'all to think, let's go into imaginary land, right? A lot of my friends and peers, or at least on my Facebook, are in their 30s. At 40, where do you want to be? At 45, where do you want to be? At 50, where do you want to be? Where do you see yourself? And you have to be honest. Don't think about the problems. Don't think about what's holding you back. Don't think about all this other extra variables. Just think about what you want. Just think about that. And then think about everything that it would take to get to that point. But then also think about, what are you willing to sacrifice to get to that point? That's all you need to think about. That's the key to life. That's the key to life. The second key to life is understanding where your weaknesses are, right? Analyzing where your weaknesses are. If your weaknesses, I have a spending issue, create a budget. If your weaknesses, I have a drinking issue, create discipline. If your weaknesses are, okay, I don't take things seriously, well, maybe you need to take things seriously. Only we know our weaknesses. But we have to take accountability and face our weaknesses instead of living in denial. Because you can only live in this reality of that mindset for so long until you wake up in your 40s and 50s and you're like, oh shit, where's my life? I think we have to be responsible for ourselves, and we have to take life a little more seriously. I've stood over enough caskets to know that life is really fucking short. So what are you gonna do with your life? Because you can't blame other people for the decisions that you make that affect you. Another key to life, this is I think number 4, be willing to eliminate people out your life. If they're not benefiting you, they're not a resource to you, they're not pushing you to reach your goal, they're not supportive, right? If they have the wrong lifestyle, let's go drink, let's go smoke, let's go do all this crazy shit besides let's be productive, and we could do all that stuff after the priorities are done, eliminate them. Family, friends, peers, relationships, girlfriend, boyfriend, whoever the fuck it is, eliminate them. Learn to be alone. And when you're alone, right, that's when you start gaining the clarity. That's what I've had to learn. I'm only talking from personal experience and what's worked for me, right? Learn to be alone. You know, don't expect everybody to be where you're at or to go where you're going. Another thing, patience, and come up with a plan. Anything is obtainable. The only thing that stops you is yourself. I think we become our own obstacles. That's my biggest quote. We become our own obstacles. So I'm about to go to work. This is just a life with Boobie, the caveat on the first one. I'm gonna tag Cookie in this one too, and a few other people. But life with Boobie.